Hi. So in the last class, we do have done with attribute qualification and we have done with metric qualification. That's what in set qualification, we do have metric and we have relationship filter. So let's look into the relationship filter option. So we have set qualification. In set qualification, we have metric qualification and relationship filter. So when it comes like relationship filter, basically this is one of the important interview question. In general, they do ask like what is relationship filter and how it will impact in SQL point of view. So relationship filter is it's similar to like subquery. Subquery basically it impacts we are going to get a subquery when it comes like when we apply relationship filter in reports. So but in general, why we go for relationship filter? Relationship filter is nothing but if we know a particular value and if we want to know an unknown value, so based on a known value we can capture unknown value, something like we know like customer name, but we are not aware of customer region. So in that case we can make use of relationship filter, but you can also find out making use of regular filter as well, but let's go for it. So let's say I know a particular item, but I want to know the customers who brought that specific item. So in that way, like we'll use, let's say item, let's drag and drop item here. Search for Sony. Let's make use of Sony VCR. I'm just using only one particular item. This is known value, okay? So this I'm applying like this is a regular filter, right? So this is a known value. Sony VCR. Let's say I already have a Sony VCR filter, right click, or if you want, we can create directly a relationship filter. So let's go back to filter, double click, go for set qualification, click OK. In the metric drop down, you have relationship. Okay, so let's click on relationship. So you have an option to create a filter or you can browse. So let me just clicking on this create a filter. As I said, right, you can make use of again, you can create a filter for a known value. So let's say I'm aware of the item Sony VCR, but I want to know the customer. That's what. So I'm not going to create any filter because I already created a filter. I'm going to browse that existing filter. That is what Sony VCR. So I do have this is a known value, Sony VCR. I want to capture customers who brought this particular product. So let's click OK. Let's see how it goes. So now when you click OK, so it's asking like choose an attribute for the output level. That means at what level or what is the output you're like working for, right? That's what like it's similar to subquery where whatever the inner query's output is like input for the outer query, right? Similar to that. So I just need customer. So the output level I'm choosing is like customer. So I want those customers who purchase that particular product. So select set of customers. So I'm not aware of the customer names, but that's what the output level we are choosing. Set of customers who purchase Sony VCR. Click OK. Save and close. Let's say this is relationship filter. Relationship filter. Now let's go back to reports and let's create a new report. So now I will use attributes customer. Let's use customer. And if you want to showcase the item, you can also make use of item, products item. And let's make use of profit or revenue. So we have profit and revenue. Let's use profit. So, but the requirement is like I want to know the customers who purchased the item Sony VCR. So now let's go back to filters, public objects, filters. Now you can make use of relationship filter. Let's execute. You can also apply the direct filter, which we have selected, right? Item equal to Sony VCR. That's the same, but I will showcase the exact difference or exact functionality of relationship filter. So we are getting only one product, right? So we are getting only one product where, but these are all the customers. So let's 768 customers who purchase Sony VCR. Okay, but so the intention is like in MicroStrategy level, this is the only functionality where it will impact in subqueries. I will showcase the difference between relationship filter and also the shortcut to report. This is an alternate solution. Generally, we do call the alternate solution for relationship filter is shortcut to report. But let's see, like what is the advantage of relationship filter or disadvantages. Disadvantage in the sense this will impact in or this particular for this particular relationship filter we are going to get in a subquery. It's not direct in MicroStrategy. We have to do some settings. I'm going to showcase that now. But generally, we don't recommend subqueries in general when it comes to like MicroStrategy point of view because of performance issues. So let's go back to SQL view. That's what I just want to showcase. What is relationship filter? So when you apply relationship filter, by default, what we are getting is like we are getting a couple of passes. So one is like it is creating a temporary table and it is storing that particular item related information in the temporary table. And in the final pass, it is calling this specific table. Okay, so sorry. So now I need to avoid this temporary table, right? So as I said, we have to like we have to get a subquery. So how we are going to get subqueries? So now I can make use of data. Go back to VLDB property settings. So we have an option called as first to implement that. So we have an option to go for subquery type. So let's make use of query optimization subquery type and select the default. You can select first or second. So this first one shows column names, like select star. The second one will showcase the specific column names. That's the reason I'm choosing the second option. Let's see whether we are going to get relationship filter or not, or the subquery. So we have to get select within the select statement, right? You can see. So this is what the subquery. So this is what the output or this is what the expected SQL when it comes to like relationship filter. So you have to use VLDB property settings, go back to data, VLDB property settings, and in the query optimizations, you have a subquery type and you can select a relationship filter. Like to get subquery, you have to select subquery type, the first or second option. We can also check other options as well, but this is the best functional, this is the best option where you can get the proper SQL. Okay, so this is what relationship filter. Generally we can go for regular filter to get customer who purchase that specific product, but I just want to showcase the actual functionality of relationship filter because it impacts, or we are going to get subquery when it comes like relationship filter. So I'm going to do the same with shortcut to report and we'll check the same subquery option whether it will work for shortcut to report functionality or not. We'll look into that in the shortcut to report concept. And I will save this particular SQL and will differentiate. Okay. So this is the relationship filter report. So we have a next concept called as shortcut to report. So basically, this is a separate concept. Shortcut to report is a separate concept or a separate filter type. Right click, new. double click, you can see we are done with set qualification. In set qualification, we have metric qualification and relationship filter. And this is what shortcut to report. So generally, shortcut to report is an alternate solution for relationship filter. In general, it's not mandatory, but shortcut to report is nothing. But the thing is, you can use report as a filter. Okay, so you can create a report, and if you want to use report as a filter, you can choose that specific report, and you can use this filter in reports. That's what the concept. First of all, we'll create a sample report. Okay, I'm going to create a sample report here itself. Let's go for report. Create a report, but what's the requirement? So we created a filter for item VCR, right? Similarly, I'm going to create a report for item VCR. So let's go for products, and we have item, and you can use that particular item in the filter. We don't want other attributes or metrics to place in this particular dummy report. This is a dummy report, which I just want to showcase only, like Sony VCR. Okay, Sony VCR. Click OK. So this is the dummy report, which we are going to use as a filter, as a shortcut to report. So dummy report for Sony VCR. Okay. So you can use report as a filter. That's the actual concept. I have a report. Now I already opened the filter editor. Double click, shortcut to report. Shortcut to report is like, you can see choose a report. Okay, if you have already an existing report, default it navigates to report folder, but let's go back to filters, and I'm going to choose dummy report. So now I'm going to use a report as a filter. That's what the concept here. So now shortcut to report filter. Let's save. So I just placed a report in the filter, and I'm going to create another report, and I'm going to place that specific filter in the new report. So let's go for it. So now let's consider, I just want to compare the relationship filter to the shortcut to report filter. So first of all, we'll make use of customers. Let's use customer, and let's go for item, because I just want to showcase item, whatever the data we are getting for item, right? We'll display that. And let's go for sales metrics, profit. So, and I'm going to apply the shortcut to report filter, right click, you can add to report filter. Let's execute. I think we got 768 records in the relationship filter, and we are also getting the same number of records in the existing, like in the current shortcut to report functionality. Okay, so yes, we are getting proper data, it seems. Now what I'm going to do is, let's compare the SQL view. So we'll compare the SQL view between relationship filter and the shortcut to report filter. Yes, we are getting, initially we are getting the same temporary table creation for shortcut to report. Whatever the report we created, right, for that it is creating a temporary table. Okay, and in the final pass we are getting the results. But now let's go back to data, VLDB property settings. We'll do the same settings for shortcut to report as well, and we'll compare whether we are going to get subquery or not. So I'm going to choose the same second option, save and close. So now you can see, still when you use the same VLDB property settings to get a subquery, it is not accepting. So we are getting the same temporary table, correct? So that's what the functionality of relationship filter. So relationship filter, for sure we are going to get subquery, but it's not default. We have to set the VLDB property settings to get this particular functionality. But we have used shortcut to report, and we are also getting the same temporary table creation. But I just want to go for some settings in VLDB properties to get subquery type, but it is not working the same for shortcut to report. So that's the major difference between shortcut to report, shortcut to report and relationship filter. So very important. We don't get much requirements related to this, but at least if you know the functionality of relationship filter and shortcut to report, so that's good actually. So to understand how it will impact in SQL level. So these are all the types of filters which we have discussed till now, like attribute qualification, inset qualification. We have relationship filter and metric qualification. So and we do have the next type is shortcut to filter. So shortcut to filter is a simple concept. Shortcut to filter is a simple concept where I don't want to create a report, but it's simple. Like you can create a filter. Let's go for filter, and you have an option called as add a shortcut to filter. The intention is like you can choose an existing filters. So the intention is you can choose multiple filters, or let's say I'm going to select Sony VCR again, click OK, or again you don't no need to double click, select shortcut to filter and choose that filter. What you can do is go back to public objects, filters. If you want to use multiple filters at a time, you can drag and drop. You can see you can drag and drop those existing filters. No need to double click again, add a shortcut to filter, click OK, choose another filter like south filter. So it takes time, right? So you can see it takes time. So that's the reason if you want to use existing filters, you can just simply open the filter editor and just drag and drop those existing filters here. That's simple. So for this, I'm not going to create any report, but this is one of the simple way to create a shortcut to filter where you can use existing filters. Okay, if you have a requirement to create multiple filters, or if you want to use existing filters, you can make use of shortcut to filter. It's simple, and you can also change the operator. You can, if you want, you can change the toggle operator to or condition or and condition. It depends on that. It depends on the requirement where you can make use of this toggle or operator. So this is what shortcut to filter. And the last one is like we do have advanced qualification. So in the advanced qualification, we have custom expression, and we'll look into this custom expressions later point of time. We can write some case statements, and we have joint element list. So what is the advantage of joint element list? I will give you a requirement. So here we have advanced qualification. In the advanced qualification, we have joint element list. We have joint element list. So what is joint element list? Joint element list is, I will tell you the requirement. The requirement is, let's say I have year, let's say I have an year attribute, and I have region attribute, and I have some sales information. Here, not here. So let's say I have profit metric. So I want something like a combination. So let's put aside profit, but I want a combination where, let's say I want to display 2015 for South, only for South region. And I want to display 2016 for only like Southeast. And let's say I want to display 2017 for Southwest, or any year. So I don't think we have 17 data, but we have something like 2014. Let's do the same, 2015 and 2016. So we'll try this requirement. So if we want to get a combination in the sense combination of year and region, right? When you use only 2015, we are going to get 2015, South, East, West, all the regions for 2015. It's not like that. I want to get combination, or it's combined kind of a 14 and South combination. I don't have Southeast data for 14. I don't have Southwest data for 14. That's what the thing. So if you want to get proper data based on the combination of year and region, we have to, instead of going for a joint element list, we can also use filter, but we have to create multiple filters to get these combination of data, combination of year and region. Okay. So the best option is like a joint element list. So let me showcase that. Let's use the same attributes. So let's go for, let's search in year. I'm selecting year here. And the other attribute I need to select is region. Select the attributes year and region in the joint element list. So you have an option called as create a new element, like add combination element list. So let's click on this red button. And if you want to add 3 combinations, right, let's add 3. Okay. And you can modify the first element combination. This is modify. Click on modify. First you want 2014 and south, correct? So I want the combination of year 2014 and region. We are getting Canada by default. From where we need to select, you have a drop down, select region. In the region, you can make use of south, double click. Okay. Now default, I'm getting year as 2014. So we are good with that. But for region, we need to select south. So this is one combination, 14 and south. Select the second element and you can use modify. What is the second element combination? 15 and southeast. Go back to year. Now I need to, by default, we are getting 2014. Now double click on 15. I need to select 2015 as year because you have drop down year. We are displaying year data. And for region, I need to get southeast, right? It's southeast or southwest? Southeast for 15. So let's select southeast. Okay. So now I got 14 south, 15 southeast. The final element I need to display 2016. And let's click on drop down. And I want to get southwest region as southwest. That's it. You can add multiple combinations, not only year, region. If you want, you can go for subcategory or category, and you can get another combination as well. That's an advantage of joint element list. So we are just joining those elements, right? Multiple elements with different combinations. So let's click OK. For now, I'm using only year and region combination. So save and close. This is joint element list. Joint element list filter. I need to create a report first for this. Let's go back to reports. Right click, new. So I have to showcase, yes, we can apply the filter, but I have to display those years and region, right? So now you have to select year and region. And let's use one metric. That's profit. Let's use profit. And we can make use of filter condition. Let's go for filters. We can use joint element list filter. Right click, add to report filter. So let's execute. So we need to get the combination, what we have, whatever the thing we are expecting, right? 14 south, southeast, 14 south, 15 southeast. You can just check that. 14 south, 15 southeast, 16 southwest. So that's a combination. And whenever you're going to use joint element list, it will impact in SQL where by making use of or condition, you can see first I need to get combination of 2014 and region 5, that is south, then or. Okay. For this 2014 and region, that's an end condition. Each and every year and region we have end condition. In between those 3 elements we have or condition. So that is the actual condition where you can see in the where clause of the SQL. So this is the joint element list. This helps a lot actually. No need to create multiple filters, and you can use that as a shortcut to filter. So that's take more time, but this is one of the simplest way where we can go for joint element list. So this is what different types of filters we discussed, like attribute qualification, set qualification, shortcut to report, shortcut to filter, and advanced qualification. And in advanced qualification, we just gone through joint element list. So this is what the types of filters in report filter, and we'll discuss the types of metrics, in the next coming class. So we have different types of metrics. So we'll discuss that in the next class. Thank you all.